Ja, hallå allihopa! Välkomna tillbaka till ännu ett spel här från mig. Och den här gången har jag något nytt på gång, om jag inte sa det nyss. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. På min förra kanal så spelade jag ju originalserien för den här spelserien Ace Attorney, som är en av mina absoluta favoriter. Men det här har jag faktiskt aldrig spelat, som är någon slags spin-off. Det utspelas i det förflutna. Det har väl ingenting att göra med själva huvudserien, som jag fattar det. Men jag ser fram emot att spela det, för att det var länge sedan jag körde ett sånt här spel utan att veta vad som skulle hända. När jag körde det senast, så då visste ju i alla fall slutade. Och om ni inte vet vad det här är, så spelar man som en försvarsadvokat. Men man blir lite av en detektiv där, när man försöker försvara sina klienter, som vanligtvis är då oskyldiga. Men det brukar ju vara mycket text i deras karaktärer med text, vilket betyder att jag får använda mig av min röst till att göra röstskådespel, vilket jag gillar så mycket. Om ni har sett Pokémon som jag har spelat. Select Adventure, New Game. Ja, ska jag väl hoppa in här då. Får man se en cutscene eller? Det brukade man inte få se i de här gamla spelen.
The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Jag har redan glömt bort vad han sa i början. Vart var det här någonstans?
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Det här är en som man spelar som, tror jag. Eller det har jag sett på bilderna. Episod 1. The Adventure of the Great Departure. 2 november 8:43. Supreme Court of Judiciary Defendants Antechamber. 5, ja, det var mycket svåra ord där. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Jag vet inte ens vem det är som pratar, så nu bara hoppade jag på en röst. Jag vill ju honom. What? Oh, nothing. Save your glass, murderer. Sorry. Jag vill se själva karaktären. My name is Runasuke. I'm a second year student at Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying accident. And now here I am awaiting my trial. That's enough. Uh-oh. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And you, who are you? I am this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Är det här man spelar som då? Eller, nej. Nej, den första. Ja, vi får se hur det spelas. Lawyer? Yes. And until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Runasuke?
Oh yes, of course. Sorry.
What are you apologizing to me for?
Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault, But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry.
Ha 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 ha. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yumei University professor murdered in cold blood by a student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you?
Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone.
Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high.
You mean?
I believe you. I know you are innocent, Runasuke.
Kazuma Sogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yunmei University. But he's far more clever than I am. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still...
It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyer is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. Okej, så vi är i Japan. Det var det jag glömde från introt. My qualification don't mean much yet. Jag har försökt ge honom, den här Kazuma, lite av en sån här subtil japansk dialekt, men inte för överdrivet.
You said the exact same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get a study abroad at last.
I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court.
So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing through his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system.
Okay. Hey, nu är honom. That's why I have crossed the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes.
The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too.
Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together.
If only it was that simple.
Oh dear. Look at the time. I'd better be going.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer.
Good idea. After all, it is not every day you get a visit from a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Okej, så han ska åka till det brittiska imperiumet. Till Stora Britannien. För att ta sig an det här lawyer-thinget. Men hur ska det... Jag har en dålig känsla. I have a bad feeling. Om jag jämför med det första spelet i den här serien. Om vad som händer då. Och såna här japanska produktioner gillar ju att återupprepa saker. Okej, jag vet inte om det är rättvist att säga. Kanske inte. Jag vill ju inte spoila baserat på vad som har hänt förut. Men jag har en känsla av att vår karaktär kommer säkert ersätta honom på något sätt. Ersätta vår mentor. Jag vet inte vad som kan hända med Kazuma. Vad som helst.
It was straight after that. That's when it happened.
Asogi, may I have a word? Jag vill först se på karaktären. Okay. Professor, I didn't know you were coming.
Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that now, Asogi. You should go immediately to the judge's chamber.
To His Excellency's chamber. Why?
He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in his trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may have been some confusion about procedures today as a result.
Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at a university before.
I see. I'll go at once then.
I shall accompany you.
All right then, Ryusuke. I'll see you in the courtroom.
Yes, thanks, Kazuma.
Nu gäller det att komma ihåg alla dessa röster också.
This is awkward.
If I may.
Yes, sorry. You must...
Fan, jag har redan glömt bort hur han lät. Hur fan låt han lät?
You must be the defendant, Rihono Naruhodo.
By the way, huvudkaraktären i förra spelserien som spelas i nutid heter också Naruhodo i efternamn. Så jag antar att det här är någon slags vad heter det? Ancestor. Vad heter det på svenska? I don't know. Förfäder till Phoenix Wright eller Naruhodo som han heter på japanska.
Yes, that's right.
My name is Yuhio Mikotoba. I'm a professor in forensic medicine at Yumei University.
Alltså jag tror jag är helt missad. Det här är inte ens nära hur han lät i början.
Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad.
So Gib told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know.
Know what?
Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail his defending you in today's trial, I am afraid that permission will be revoked, never granted again.
What?
As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you.
He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas duties. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable circumstances. I don't believe it.
Det känns som att de här så rösterna är lite på samma våglängd.
But
Så jag blandar ihop dem. Ja.
I didn't do it. I swear, I am not a murderer.
I am sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial.
Sorry, what do you mean?
You'll understand once proceedings gets underway.
But then what should I do?
Well,
naturally, I'm going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so
as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do.
I do. But what will the question be?
Surely not.
Do you accept the accusations brought before you?
Of course not. Defendant. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Fuck.
It would seem our services discussions are to be cut short.
Vad var det där för ord?
So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asagi must not be the defense lawyer in must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours.
What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty of falling apart? Get moving. There's no point in advocating for the likes of you anyway.
This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dream of studying abroad is over, and what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My once and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny.
Det verkar som att, eller om jag fattade rätt så vill han att jag inte ska acceptera honom som sin advokat så att han slipper förlora och kan gå vidare till att studera i Storbritannien. Så jag vet inte om jag kommer få något val här. Okay.
So this is a courtroom.
The Supreme Court of Judiciary. No court in the land has more power.
I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there.
The power has to have demanded that this be a secret trial.
A secret trial?
A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend.
What? But why?
It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Runasuke. It's about to begin.
The court will now hear the trial of Runasuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, your excellency.
Han ser ut som en där i originalserien som alltid är med, alltid med i tutorial, i första typ tutorial-grejen. Så jag antar att det också är någon så här förfäder-grej.
The prosecution is ready, your excellency.
Det var något sånt jag gav honom rösten i min förra playthrough.
As is the defense.
Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm.
Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocates. That is correct, Your Excellency. I made that request myself.
Normal procedure is the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendants in this trial?
This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? What's the question the professor meant? But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do?
Ett val här. Undrar om det här är någonting som kommer påverka själva storyn, eller om det kommer vara typ så här game over om jag väljer fel. För i de förra spelen så var det alltid väldigt så här linjärt. Jag ville att jag skulle svara I do. Han ville inte att jag skulle svara I do. Men jag tror det. I don't know. Jag svarar I do.
Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will... Okay. Oh.
What is the meaning of this unruly outburst?
I would like to inform the court that I, Runasuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself.
You will be...
What?
What are you playing at, Runasuke?
Professor Mika told me everything just now, before the trial.
He did what?
He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose.
How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off?
No, it's not that really. It's just, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you're...
Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mekatoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in.
Very well. The court is hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, does the accused admit to defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows what the defendant's innocence is so apparent. His confidence can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, yes, exactly.
exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank.
I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judiciary of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean?
He is questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
So, let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more than I'd care to remember. Wait. Oh, I'm so nervous. I can't even remember that. What was it again?
Runasuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank.
You know me so well.
All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that.
It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of an E. If you ever find yourself forgetting something, just consult that. It's all in there.
I just have to press E for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose.
Okej. Så här är the court record, jag ser alla bevismaterial.
This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with E.
Okej, så här ser jag profilerna på alla. 23 år gammal. He's bara, ja. Medical school at the Imperial Yumei University. He's an authority in forensic medicine. Det var han som gjorde det. Det är han som är mördaren. I know it. Nu. Jag skickar ut en gissning redan nu. Det är därför han ville att jag skulle sluta. För han var orolig att min mentor var för bra och skulle lösa fallet. Och han trodde att jag skulle fucka upp. Och nu ska jag sätta dit honom. Det är min prediction. The lead, who would appear to have little love for the changes the cultural reformation has brought about. Jag vet inte vad fan är det här? Ja, the victim. Så det här är han som jag supposedly mördade.
So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press R to present. Try it now.
Jag ska presentera honom.
Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Det låter inte japanskt så.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to the University 3 years ago.
Indeed, which is the reason why this case had such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty altogether after lengthy negotiations.
There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
I didn't do it.
This case is coming to under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution of this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're an inconvenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime.
So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it?
Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman.
Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime.
Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer.
Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get a visit from a high-class Western restaurant like this. You get to visit. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Vi såg det här tidigare redan.
The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from the Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Now then, let me pose my next question. My next question to you, I mean, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life?
State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was
Rino Hosoka! Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence.
By evidence? But how?
Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now!
Okej, här har jag mina bevis så jag har två grejer. University color pin. Proof that I'm a student at the Imperial Humane University. I always wear it on the collar of my... Så här är min pin. Här är post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. Och var pub av en förlorad blod från ett pistolskott i bröstet. Kulan passerade inte genom offrets kropp. Okej. Så vi ska presentera det där. Ja, jag får med lite detaljer också. 19 november, kort efter 2. Ingen information om vilket år vi befinner oss i här. Hemorrhage betyder hemorrhage. Fatal, dödlig hemorrhage. Från en pektoral ballistisk traumatik. Inget avslut. Eller nej, inte avslutande. Inget utgående skada. Kulan passerade inte genom kroppen. Och om jag inte sa det tidigare, själva spelet i det här när man kommer till själva vad fan heter det? Domstolen här när man ska hålla på. Det är att man ska kolla genom sina bevis och vittnet säger någonting och sen kollar man igenom bevisen och säger men fuck you, du ljuger. Här står det i mina bevis. Typ någon kommer säkert säga typ så här, ja men kulan gick rakt igenom och jag såg den komma flygande ut ur hans kropp och då visar jag det här beviset och säger nej, det gick inte rakt igenom. Det står här, bullet did not pass through the body. De håller nog rätt så enkelt för det här är ju tutorialen. Vi får se. Så just nu har vi det här är det enda vi har på. Sen i senare fall då är man ute och så här letar efter bevis och pratar med vittnen och försöker så här lista ut själva storyn eller själva. Ja, men det är väldigt kul. Det är kul och spännande och roligt. Hur kommer jag tillbaka nu? History. Ja, okej. Jag bara kolla alla dialoger. Examen. Ja, det var det jag gjorde. Sata is back. Nej. Nu kommer jag tillbaka. Jag ska presentera det här. R representerar.
Yes! Well... according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to a gunshot trauma. That's how it is.
Learn to be, imbecile. That's the post-mortem report I take.
Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report.
In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way.
Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern the scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific and evidence into the record.
Okej, så nu läggs det här fotot till där så vi kan också använda det som bevis. Och här har vi ett foto som visar på själva han som blivit skjuten. Han var skjuten i front framifrån i bröstet och därefter dog. Det var så det gick till.
So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible.
Det är väl på 1800-talet någonstans där ska utspela sig.
Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Ah, this is it then.
I think I might have worked out the professor had in mind.
The professor? You mean Dr. Kodeba?
Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant.
Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kasuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial.
He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he?
Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kasuma.
Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats.
Only if you rein the crazy headband and control the stares of you first.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Okay.
Of course, my name is Satoru Hasunoga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Aham.
Han blöder.
Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some,
It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
Well, it really should.
As everyone knows, the capital southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of those district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental theater eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood, Kusanagana-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident.
Oh, at once, sir.
And no petty interjection from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Perspiring maybe, but aspiring?
Jag vet inte vad perspiring blir.
It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few dinners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables occupied.
That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place.
Ahem. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. a gunshot rang out, so I hurried out of the dining room area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up the gown I find on the flooring of the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjection. Petty. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what I saw, you amateur. But
the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruto. Don't worry, Runasuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student.
Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table.
What's the matter, Runasuke?
That's just not right. When I went to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table.
Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed.
I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do?
Kör på. Interject.
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw.
Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy.
Oh, no. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone.
I don't believe it.
I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to.
Okej, av en karta nu.
Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume.
That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone.
Well, you are clearly a very conscientious waiter.
Thank you, sir.
The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Oh, well.
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here you are.
What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now.
Something certainly seems to have shaken him.
The waiter's business card. Ja, vi får en ledtråd där till att han är nervös. Betyder att han är skyldige eller att han bara vill dölja något, så brukar det ju vara ibland också. Han vill typ inte erkänna att någon är där och så bla 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 bla.
So the court has now heard a precise
of the case. What? Varför använder de så många ord som jag inte fattar? Precis. Kan det vara kopplat till svenskans precis? Precis. Ett precis uttalande om fallet. Det brukar ju vara så ibland.
Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency. Oh.
If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment.
I call this
witness as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
Oh, what do you think I should do, Kasumo?
What do you mean?
Oh, well, I'm going to be found guilty in one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You've said it. Professor Mikoto Webb said it. Professor Mikotoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I am scared of what lies ahead if I push this.
As I said from the outset, I believe you are innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing to throw that trust back in my face. Is that it?
What?
If the accused in fact is innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocent by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Or are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even yet begun yet, Runasuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out his witnesses. And then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Auchi, please continue with the proceedings.
Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness.
Ännu till vittne. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witness at once.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for my court.
Jag inte ser dem.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Isanos, reporting for duty, sir. My person deploys Imperial sign articles of antiquity from our collections of our nations in Nippon, and conduct my brains to a humble premises in the second academia career corrector at your service.
An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant of the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
My faith, I habitually take a tea in the utmost exquisite aroma establishment in question, always post-noon, and nothing intrigues me conversed with interesting passes regarding the curious way in which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying.
That's true. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele.
Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was the black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir.
This man's impossible to understand as the other.
But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said.
So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment that you shot the victim dead.
Yes.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable?
If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start.
Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. I'd say very well. It's almost afternoon.